Getting the Hardaway SouthernTea back with another EP. And today I'm here with some breaking news. I literally just saw this news. This news dropped hours ago. You know what I mean? George Kambosos and Tank Davis have been ordered, to fight as a mandatory for the WBA, which means that it will be for all the marbles as well. If they fight for the WBA belt, that means that all the belts will be on the line. There's no cap, there's no fabrication, there's no fiction. This they said this fight will be happening by the summertime. They said this fight will be happening within the coming months, around the summertime or before the summertime. So I'm guessing around summertime, like that. Around summertime or before summertime, we can be expecting Teofimo. I said Teofimo Lopez. That's crazy. George Kambosos. I call George Kambosos Teofimo Lopez. That's hard. My bad, George Kambosos. You beat Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez. I shouldn't ever disrespect you like that again. Shout out my guy George Kambosos. They scheduled George Kambosos versus Tank Davis for the WBA championship. This is along the lines of what the WA been doing. The WBA, they've been doing this like WBA tournament all around the WBA, trying to get rid of all the belts except for the super title. And they finally they made their way to the 135-pound division. Tank Davis is the regular champion at the 135-pound division. So by him being the regular champion at the 135-pound division, him and George Kambosos, have been scheduled to fight. This is and again, y'all, this is set in stone. You'll be hearing about it soon if you haven't heard about it. I'm telling you, I know y'all don't too much believe the YouTube guys type deal, but this is a real thing, and you'll be hearing about it soon. But just remember when you hear about it that I told you first. George Kambosos has been George Kambosos and Tank Davis. It hasn't been made official yet, but I'm telling y'all it is official. I'm actually going to read you the article. I'm going to read you the article. I'm going to read you the article. It said, as part of their plan to cut the title belts, the World Boxing Association has ordered George Kambosos Jr. versus Gervonta Tank Davis in the coming months. World Boxing News Council has well documented the title situation at the WBA, prompting a mass of changes since last summer. The WBA promised to drop all the champions outside of the super belts to leave only one sole ruler at each class. At the present, only a handful of divisions remain unsolved. Lightweight is undoubtedly one of them. For the WBA to reach its target, they must order new unified champion George Kambosos to battle Davis. This scenario is the only way to maintain the objective. As we know, Davis is currently holding the straps at 135 and 140, which means he may have to decide soon on what route he will take. The only way Kambosos versus Davis doesn't get ordered if the latter decides to drop the light heavyweight strap to focus on super lightweight. If Davis does that, then he will get called to fight Josh Taylor instead. Either way, the ruling is coming as part as a WA plan and action to shorten up the belts. Davis recently defeated Isaac Cruz in a skillful display of incredible talents. Tank fought off Cruz on the back foot, taking the lead out of mentor Floyd Mayweather's book. But Davis no longer chooses his opponents. If he wants to retain any of his belts, he has to converse with the WBA about which class he intends to compete. So Gervonta Tank Davis has a choice to make. Basically, Gervonta Tank Davis could fight Josh Taylor, or he could fight George Kambosos. He can go to 135 or 140. I think the reason that Tank Davis came back down is because he's planning to fight. Who's planning to fight Teofimo Lopez or George Kambosos, which is what is being ordered. Being ordered. My guess is Gervonta Davis has already talked to him, and he said that he gonna do that 35. But I'm gonna keep reading. He said the outcome sets up a colossal collision with Kambosos at some point in 22, potentially only to be suffered by the undisputed battle with Devin Haney. As sanctioning bodies rules unification in the undisputed overrules mandatory. Therefore, Kambosos will starve off any Davis stipulation only by fighting Haney first. So the only way that George Kambosos can get out of fighting Tank is if he fight Devin Haney. George Kambosos, which is actually what he's been saying. If you pay attention, George Kambosos has been saying he's going to take the biggest bag. It's between Tank Davis or David Haney. He could fight Tank Davis, at 135 in the WBA mandatory thing, or he could fight Devin Haney for undisputed, unification trumps, a mandatory. So at this point, so the WBA is playing in the order: Tank Davis versus George Kambosos, or George Kambosos can decide to fight Devin Haney. So it's going to really come down to George Kambosos. If George Kambosos let the ruling go through, then he'll be fighting Tank Davis, or he can decide to fight, Devin Haney. Either which way. But yes, this is a real thing. He said, as per sanctioned by the rules, okay, I read that. Order that for Kambosos will stop. Oh yeah, Devin Haney first. Yeah, the only way he could get out of this is if he fight Devin Haney. But yeah, that's the story. I got the link. I got the link in the bio. If you don't believe me, you could look at the link in the bio. It's another link in the bio. It tell you, the same thing I'm telling you. But I think for once, everybody got it right. I think this is perfect. I think this is perfect timing. I think this is a good move. I haven't been fond of what the WBA. I haven't been fond of everything the WBA has been doing as of late, but I'm going to give the WBA a hand clap for this because George Kambosos just came off a win versus T.O., and we living in a day where it's hard for us to get, these title fights and undisputed and all that shit. So with the WBA calling this, we finna get Kambosos versus Tank or Kambosos versus Heyman. Both are great fights, you know what I mean? So I like that. I like that move by the WBA, and this is a real thing. This is my word. I'm telling you. But if you don't believe me, you could check the bio. I got the link in the bio. It's the first link. But this is a real thing. So WBA has they haven't officially ordered him yet, but all signs and all parties are go to order Tank Davis versus Kambosos. And the only way that he could get out of this, Tank Davis could either fight Josh Taylor or George Kambosos, but the feel is he gonna be fighting George Kambosos, gonna be fighting at 135. So George Kambosos can decide to fight Tank or Devin Haney, which actually is exactly what he's been saying. But now we know why he's been saying it, because of course he knew this news before we did. You know what I mean? So I'm excited about it, man. I'm excited about it. We finna get some good fights out of this. I'm not gonna say that I'm glad Teofimo Lopez lost, because that'll sound like I'm hating on him, and I actually picked Teofimo Lopez to win. But I feel like Teofimo Lopez was kind of holding up this division type deal, and I think now that he kind of off the belts, George Kambosos got him, and you got the WBA making this move type deal. I think that's going to be I think that's a damn good situation for everybody involved type deal. You know what I mean? And for us, Kambosos and Tank and Devin Haney, that right there there's really no way there's no way of getting around, these mega fights at 135. 135 is a stacked division. We got to add the new guy, Isaac Cruz, into the equation as well. But this is more good news. This is more good news in the sport of boxing, where it's been a lot of, bullshit going on. I think I'm going to get a WBA hand clap for this right here. So shout out to WBA for making that move. And again, if you don't believe me, I'm going to read the article again. If you don't believe me, I got the link in the bio. It's the first link in the bio. If you want to click it, you don't believe my word, you would click it. But I'm going to if I'm not even gonna read it for you again, because I already read it, goddamn. I already read it for you. He said we're Disney Black, and she was talking all that. Now she gonna be on the live stream. This ain't the live stream right here, y'all. This is a short video. I really ain't supposed to be talking to y'all. Shout out to everybody that came through. But yeah, but it is a real thing. He has a year to fight, man. Does have the I don't know, D-Hab, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I ain't mad at him, D-Hab. Don't question him, D-Hab. I'm finna go on, shout out all my people that came through here real quick. I'm finna get up out of here. I just want to come in and tell y'all that the WBA is pressing this because they trying to that's why the WBA got the tournaments going on, in all their divisions. They trying to get rid of all the regular belts and just have one super champion. So that's the reason why they calling out these different fights. And the next fight they'll be calling will be at the 135 division between Kambosos and Tank Davis. That's what the WBA will be doing. The only way that he'll be able to get out of this fight is if he fight an undisputed match with David Haney. So we got a good fight coming up either way. But let me holler out my people that came through. Shout out my guy Tony Bell. He dropped the eyes. What's good, Tony? Shout out my nigga Terry Connor. He said T with the fire. Appreciate you. My nigga Corey Sanders said, saw it coming. Appreciate you sliding through this junk, Corey. My guy Demetrius Bright, salute, salute, salute. What's good with your homie? Appreciate you sliding through. He said, not going to, try my nigga D had not going to happen. Mayweather and them won't go to Australia. They want to pay Kambosos, going to get a purse bid. They know Tank is hurt. League issues, they want to strap Tank. Shout out my guy D sliding through this jump. And telling the young homes, Ed Hearns versus LB going down to make niggas on the lab for the fights. Shout out my guy Sarit sliding through this jump. He said WBA purse action. Shout out my guy King Doc. He said, hello, world. Shout out my guy Tay Jones. Shout out my guy Tick sliding through this joint, dropping the gloves. Appreciate all y'all sliding through this joint though. But this is a real move right here. The link is in the bio. You could click the link in the bio. I just told you what's up. They will be pushing this fight. You will be hearing about this official news soon. But all parts are on board. Looks like Tank Davis will be fighting at 135. Looks like he's at 135 to stay, and he'll be taking the WBA route, getting Kambosos. Shout out everybody that came through this junk, Skin the Hardaway SouthernTea. This ain't the past, this ain't the future, but this the present. That's how we rocking, and I'm out. Love.